This week's
Wait.
Oh God! I jumped the gun.
Yeah, you
Leave
have
this
to
in, Chris.
accept.
Leave this in. Good evening and welcome to this week's Weaving Web3 with me, James.
Me, Chris.
Oh, me, Stash. I'm usually last.
And this week we're going to talk about our little NFT delving in as a group. We've done some group purchasing NFTs. We've done some Ghost Boys that are now alive. And in addition to that, we're going to talk about what Blur is. Are they giving out a load of free money because they love artists or because they want to make a load of money off them? Gents, should we start with Ghost Boys or karafuru?
I think Ghost Boys. I mean, Ghost Boys.
Ghost Boys, the gem that I found. God, when was it? Last year? December
Time, yeah.
December. We raised from the dead a beautiful, beautiful ghost. Each of us have one each. And we minted them for about 50 quid each, I'm guessing, including gas.
So we figured it out. Mine was the cheapest.
Yours was
at
cheaper.
60 quid. Stash kind of jumped the gun because he uncapped his gas.
Yeah, I was just like, I need to get this mint before it sells out. So I was like, charge me whatever as long as I get one. And at the end of the day, it was worth it.
You didn't have to buy a blockalizer, did you? Because me and Chris bought an inflated blockalizer.
Yes, you
did.
Did
You sell yours, Chris?
My blockalizer?
Yeah.
Oh,
this man never sells.
No, this
man never sells. But
well,
we bought them for 0.17. You could have shipped it out for a profit.
Yeah, I could have sold it for 0.4 to be fair. But then like it pumped to 0.4, right? Because we were talking about this in the last episode, right?
Yeah.
We recorded the last episode about 2 weeks ago, so we might be a bit rusty today, but so it pumped to 0.4, but then obviously everyone was doing that so as to get the Ghost Boy whitelist, because Ghost Boy is great. But yeah, so then after that they just went down, obviously, and now
plummeted completely.
What is the floor price? Let's have a look.
I think it was like 0.03 when I last looked, or 2.
But you also need to look at what the Gen 1 floor price is. That's what
I'm thinking. Gen 1 floor price is probably a bit higher. I think it's about 0.04 or something like that.
That's not bad. That's a pretty good price.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but it's not when you paid 0.17 for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's paid off. Like, let's say, like the Ghost Boy went up to 0.45 ETH, which is like.
Yeah. Look, if we'd have sold Stash, we would have paid it off.
But we don't want that capital gains tax.
You
yeah,
don't.
So the lowest Gen 1 is 0.04, sorry. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if we were to sell now, that's a 0.13 loss, right? Yeah. However, Ghost Boy floor price is what? 0.2
something.
Yeah, and we paid 0.025 for them plus gas. So yeah, I mean it's equal out, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So
win-win. See, look, my calls play off 100%.
But the lesson here, kids, is when it pumps pre-reveal, just sell, because you're gonna get rubbish anyway. Your heart wants to believe, but just sell it because it'll never happen.
Because we literally could have sniped the rare one off because of all that 5.4.
I mean, I was on a flight. I couldn't be able to snipe anything.
James. Like, this is a big change of pace from the the last episode where you were like, no, we're all gonna get
Chris. I'm always the optimist before the reveal, and then after it, I go, what has Stash brought me into? Where was my 10 ETH? Because you know what though, you would be going nuts, wouldn't you? Because if I don't know what the most expensive one sold for, but it's probably like 5-6 ETH.
Yeah,
it
was very expensive.
But do you know what I mean? Like, could you imagine making that? I mean, like, if you got one of those rare ones, you just pop it straight on, don't you? Whatever you want. Yeah, exactly. Look, that's the thing. Really, if you do enough of them, the odds are in your favour. You'll get something good.
There's some whales in the space, right? They buy 50 of them, pre-reveal. So we're talking like top prices. So they're paying 0.4, and sometimes it pays off just because they get like a legendary. Yeah. So they pay the whole collection that they've got basically from one or two of them.
I think going forward, I'm going to be a bit more pragmatic and be like, do you know what? If I mint for 0.02, or 0.25, 0.025. If it goes 20x, just sell. Just sell and just wait. Because actually, we could have sold at 0.45 and bought one at pre-reveal as well at probably 0.3.
Yeah.
So,
0.3.
but it's difficult, isn't it, to time that? Because you might have sold at 0.25 and be like, oh, that's great. And then it goes up to 0.4 and you can't buy back in pre-reveal.
FOMO, or like, you're like, oh, damn, I'm an idiot. But no, hang on a second. You've made more money than anyone would putting that money into the S&P 500 for like the next 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's... But it's also the amount of effort you actually have to do to get in that whitelist. Like, really, there's quite a lot of effort involved.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be friends with, someone who's a high-level dodgeball player. And then they need to give you the inside line on attractive CEOs and NFT projects.
First of all, they tell you to buy a blockalizer because it gets you whitelist to another blockalizer, right?
Well, that's how we interpreted that conversation.
I know what you're talking about.
Stash, you're a good egg. But no, you that's the thing. You need to find a stash. You need to listen to him. You need to buy early, and then play the game.
Your own stash now for the low price of 10.
10, you can make your own stash. Do you know what though, as well, Stash? When you saw that the blockalizers were they were like, oh, we're doing another snapshot. What we should have done is bought as many as we could have.
We literally should have. Yeah.
But that's the thing as well. Like, I think next time we do this, we'll give away all our secrets. Next time we do it, if we find out that blockalizers are giving whitelist to Ghost Boy, which is a super hype collection, we buy all the cheap ones and we list them for twice their price, and we see them sell, and we make our money on the way out.
I totally agree with you. That's how we can prepare for the future. That's what I was saying. Like, maybe slowly after time we should buy one once a month or something like that. Because if you think about it, they're going to say, and there's guaranteed going to be more whitelists for maybe other projects and stuff like that, depending on how many blockalizers you've got. So like, it's just thinking for the future, because I know the hype's died down, and right now we're maybe thinking, oh, I want to buy another whatever, Cool Cat or a Ghost Boy. But maybe the best option is having multiple blockalizers. Then we split them into different wallets. Then we have a higher chance of getting them. Because there will be caps.
And that's the other thing I've learned a lot from the Ghost Boy stuff. Because I saw a lot of people on Twitter going, I've got whitelist because I own this and because I own this. And he goes, well, yeah, but they're all in the same wallet. And it was stuff like that as well. Like, people need to be aware that you can get two whitelists, but they need to be in separate wallets. You need to do both of your all your bits from different wallets.
Yeah, before the snapshot, as long as you're on it, like, as long as you know what you're doing, like, it's quite hard to fail. But like, there are stupid people who, like, you see repeatedly, like the founder on the Twitter being like, no, technically you can get multiple whitelists if you have it in different wallets. But if they are, it's one per wallet. Like, when it says one per wallet, split it between 6 different wallets.
Yeah. People don't. They just complain though, and they just want another whitelist. Or actually, they never did hold two, and they just want another whitelist because they think they might be able to chance it and get one or whatever.
Yeah,
but
begging on those posts, man. Like,
the
amount of begging for whitelists on the posts. Yeah,
that sounds like you. Or then Sappy Seals. That sounds quite familiar, really.
Now I'm past that. I was on whitelist. Yeah.
Please, sir, come over, Sappy Seal. Please, I'm Chris. Please, I'll do anything for a Sappy Seal. A pudgy penguin. Okay, that'll do. Fine. You begged for a Sappy.
They gave you anyway. So,
they gave you something that was worth 2 ETH, so you can't be too mad.
Yeah. At one point, it was worth 2 ETH. That's
wow. Exactly.
But we ride the waves.
Absolutely.
Exactly. But no, honestly, Ghost Boy's been awesome. Does anyone want to show some of the art? Have we got our ones? If I send you across my one, should we show the team? I say the team, all the people out there. Oh, as well, Chris made a great point about this. Stash got on the Twitter live, talking to the founder. Now look at him,
sir.
Talking to the founder of Ghost Boys. Is it Even Loser? Is that his name?
Yeah,
he's a lovely boy.
You asked him what if he was thinking of potentially coming to any of like expos, any sort of
in Europe, because like I definitely think there's a big community that's missing in like Europe and the UK. All the NFT connections are pretty much in America and Asia. There isn't. I don't really know of like a big or not blue chip, but a community that is based in the UK. There's little ones, and like you have like the Mutant Ape UK Society, and like I found out that the co-founder of Freelanders is based in London, UK. So like I was like, can we just organize something, or like, because like the anniversary party for Freelanders was today, and it was in Thailand because one of the founders is in Thailand. But like, I just mean it's like everything's so far away for the people in Europe. So I was just like, is there any chance you coming down?
All the karafuru stuff as well. It's in like Jakarta as well. Like it's in like I'm not gonna fly to Jakarta to go to a karafuru.
Let's go, boys.
Do you know what I think though? Like, I sort of land on it that I'm not sure how much of it needs to be in the UK.
No,
Weird.
I totally
I just don't. I don't know how much of an appetite there is because, like, you see the big events like NFT NYC and stuff, don't you? And like, I get that people are going to go to that
right now. But I just wish there was something big in the UK, which there is, like which the World Blockchain Conference is going to be, and like the one we're going to this next week.
We're going to next week.
Yeah.
What is it? The blockchain. What's it called?
Blockchain
economy.
Summit. Blockchain economy. Summit.
Blockchain economy. Yeah. So
that's the thing. You've got to get your inside scoops, don't you?
Yeah.
But also, like, you meet people and stuff like that. But no, I think overall the Ghost Boy release was pretty seamless, to be honest. The mint page was cool.
And
one thing I just wanted to just remember, this is what I'm going to be wearing. Just, I don't know if you recognize this beautiful logo.
Well, I think that's the first reveal.
I think that's the first reveal stash of this logo.
First reveal, and on the back we have my wonderful Freelander with its little boy.
And that's all. What's it called?
Embroidered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, coming maybe soon. Once we get really famous, guys, we're gonna have like our own merch line. I've already got supplies sorted, and we're just gonna be walking around in swag.
You're still wearing the swag from your last event.
A pre-sale for our
yeah, for the only Ghost Boy get whitelist for our merch.
Yeah.
Do you know what we should do when we do our weird collective NFT project that we've discussed, not on here but privately? We'll give whitelist to any of the terrible projects that Chris owns. That's what we're going to do for our whitelist. Be like, look, the Bubble Boys or whatever projects they are.
Yeah,
that's who we'll give whitelist to. Anyone in Chris's wallets?
Huh?
I was saying, anyone in Chris's wallet. So we could do Podgy Penguins, we could do Ghost Boys, we could do any of the dead projects.
I've not got Pudgy Penguins. Pudgy Penguins isn't dead. Lucky Ducky isn't dead either. Lucky Ducky's bad, cool. Like Lucky Ducky, the guy who owns Lucky Ducky was commenting on all the Ghost Boy stuff, and I commented towards it. I was like, "Hey, Ghost Boy and Lucky Ducky, hold it here." And he was like, "They have a thing instead of let's effing go, they put LDG, so let's duck and go."
There's dozens of them, literally dozens.
Exactly.
Overall, I thought the Ghost Boy movement was pretty good. Like it seemed pretty effective. The page was cool.
Smoothly, really, because the amount of crap that can go down, right? During a mint, like it can kill some projects if the mint goes bad.
You either mint every single one in one go by some bot.
But I think though he's obviously experienced, and he's obviously hired an experienced team around him, hasn't he, to do it? It's not a, but that's why I'm quite confident in it, because it did all go well, and the art is cool, and actually each one is unique.
There's something for everyone there.
Yeah, and the art's just like not generic and stuff as well. So I just thought the whole thing was pretty sweet. Talk about other projects that we've seen then. So he talked around the Ghost Boys. We've all minted. We could all sell our Ghost Boys for a decent profit at the moment, almost 10x. That's not bad.
Pretty good.
Gas and stuff, and we had to pay to get into the whitelist by buying blockalizers. But again, we could sell those for a bit. And overall, if we got 0.24 out and what we spent was 1.7 plus 0.25, you're making a bit of profit. It's not massive, but it's a bit. So that's not bad overall. The other project that
Karafuru.
we were looking at is karafuru. Now, I've not been up to date. I have been off honeymooning, so I've not been tied into this week's news. So I'll let Chris, our resident karafuru, take over and tell us all about what's been going on.
Yeah. So Karafuru just had their 1-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Like, it's a bit bittersweet with Karafuru from what I've seen online a lot, because a lot of people bought in at like 4 ETH, 5 ETH sort of thing, like at big prices. And obviously now, well, now it's currently at 0.32, but like it went down and like there wasn't a lot going on sort of thing. So a lot of people, as they do in this space, were like, oh, it's a rug, it's a rug. But like, it's not been a rug ever, because they've always had their team working and developing different things. It's just that it was so massively overhyped that like it went so high that they like didn't know how to like sort of handle that, I guess. But yeah, so they obviously did their carnival and stuff like that, and now 1 year later, they are sort of releasing what they're going to be doing for the future, right? Yeah, so which did cause a little bit of a pump. It had gone all the way down to like 0.18. Now it's at 0.32. So I mean, when we got in with our
0.2.
it was 0.2. Yeah. So we're looking, if we were to sell now, we're looking at a bit of a profit, but they released like a soft staking thing, right? So if I go on their Twitter right now, they so they did a big spaces basically for their 1 year anniversary. They talked about things that went wrong, right? And also how they're going to continue building with if royalties go to 0, as it's predicted that that's going to happen. So basically, yeah, they were like, the hype was a bit intense and we didn't really know how to handle all that. Wait, where does it say? So Karafuru problems in 2022. So their problems, we didn't exchange our ETH until it was around $1,200 US, which is a bit stupid, to be fair, when you have all that ETH sort of thing, because they're one of the top, I think they're top 40 on total volume. They've got 44,000 ETH traded.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, that's a lot of ETH.
That is a massive amount, and they were getting 5.5% of that. So we're talking like 2,000 ETH.
Yeah,
something like that. So yeah, we bought a couple of assets. We didn't work out. We were shocked with the stress that we got after Karafuru got super hyped up. We never expected that. Yeah, and so
from that, can I just question that? What are they getting stressed about?
Well, the thing is, right, when something goes to the level that they did, like 5 ETH sort of floor, there's a hell of a lot of expectation from their user base, right? Because they've potentially put in what at the time, if ETH was something like 3 grand,
yeah,
that's a lot.
Put in 15 grand to buy this thing, right? So they're like, you make it worth it. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not defending projects here, but like, the project didn't ever tell you to buy at that price.
No.
like they released a product, right, with variable pricing. Like they released the mint for, I can't remember what Karafuru minted for. It wasn't that much though. And then it just went up, and then there's so much stress from the amount of like demand from its user base that like people, and the sort of instancy of people being like rug if they don't do something spectacular.
Yeah,
like, and I completely get that. Like, I can understand that they didn't expect it to go to 5 ETH. They weren't really prepared for that amount of like demand from their user base, because they were like, okay, we've got this that we're going to do, and then like, yeah.
So I suppose yeah, you're not really set up for it, are you? Like, it's suddenly being in control of like 5 million quid or whatever it would have been, you know, I don't know what their percentage was, but 44k ETH, you're probably looking at like 5 million quid, aren't you, at least?
44k, 5.5%. So let's have
So
it.
4 million, maybe 3.5, something like that.
Times
Probably
0.05. So 2,200 ETH times that by 3,000 at the time. That's 6.6 million.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I can understand that would be stressful.
That's just in royalties. They obviously also made money from the mint as well.
Yeah, I get that, but I wonder sort of like what. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to deliver, because if you don't have the team in place and you haven't planned for it,
yeah, like,
what?
Absolutely, I totally get you. Like, they may have been just a small team, like maybe they weren't even developers and stuff like that, didn't know how to organize stuff. Like, it could have literally been us. Like, we could one day make 2 million out of the middle of nowhere. We're like, hang on a second.
Well, I know exactly what we're doing with that. We are going to Barbados.
Random dodgeball play.
But that's the thing. Also, so I don't agree with everything that Karafuru has done, and I don't agree with the founder that much, in the sense that like the amount of like shit they get on Twitter, right? People being like, oh yeah, like I saw the other day, someone was like, oh yeah, it turns out the rug projects do have a utility, the merch, and it's got like the merch, like Karafuru merch, and he's wiping his dog's paws off with it or something like that. And like the founder responds to everything like that and just like
God,
and like sort of like flames them, sort of, or tries to
it sort of sounds a bit man-childy though, doesn't it?
Just ignore them. Yeah,
leave it.
Why do you have to respond to that? Like, someone, there's always gonna be like a Twitter goblin, right, lurking in the comments being like, oh, your thing's shit. Like, just ignore him.
Chris can't believe this Karafuru but keeps replying to him. He's been trolling for years now. Almost a full year. The anniversary came around, Chris was still tweeting at him.
or do what Wab did to me and just like every tweet.
Yeah, that's the big dick play. That's the BPE.
That's even worse. That's staying with me.
No, that's what we appreciate. But yeah, so Karafu's had a nice little pump, which is one of our...
Yes, and so they've released like a soft staking thing, right? So basically, currently they've got these different raffles on for a mutant ape, which would be amazing if we won. A beans, and I think there's 2 other worlds, other deeds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're pretty big things. If you think about it, like what beans is 1.8 ETH, the other deeds is like 2 ETH each, so there's 2 of them, and then a mutant ape is something like 16 ETH, right?
Yeah.
Like, giving that away to people who stake. So you get per Karafuru, if you stake it, it's soft staking as well, so you don't actually have to transfer it out of your wallet or anything. You get 1 Karafuru coin or whatever per day. So, and the prices vary for the different raffles. So if you want to buy a ticket for like the beans, I think it's 15 of these coins. If you want to buy one for the other deeds, it's 18, and if you want to buy one for the mutant ape, it's 60. So like it adds utility to like holding, right?
It's essentially like a lottery system for staking.
And they've said they're going to expand on that because they also have other collections. So they have the 3D avatars that they did, the Gachopon or whatever, which was just like a little ball thing, and then you open the ball and you got whatever. I've talked about it before. And then they also did one which I think it was an airdrop, but like I haven't heard anyone talk about it really, but except for when I went in the Discord and I saw it in the links, and it was a Furu spirit, and apparently the Furu spirit is going to be used as utility, like as a way to like multiply the amount that you earn, the amount of Karafuru coins.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're adding extra utility to their projects, right? And also they've said that they're going to probably include merch and physical items that you can buy with your coins as well. Like, it's not all amazing. It's not like completely like sort of crazy. Also, they've also announced that they're doing like a reward system where if you bring a project for them to collaborate with, and their collaboration goes through, if you hold a legendary, you get 25% of the profits from that collaboration.
Oof.
Yummy.
And if you have a Genesis, you get 10% of the profits from that collaboration. So it's like incentivizing the community to sort of help them out, right?
Yeah,
And
it's an
also
interesting way of doing marketing.
extra thing. Yeah. So like they're doing something. I wouldn't say it's revolutionary or anything. It's nothing that's going to boost them up to like 10 ETH or anything like that. But like
Yeah.
it adds some value, which has been reflected in the floor price, right? So yeah.
That's pretty interesting. We got the other project that was released this week for pre-sale was Minima. That we think we
Yeah.
we touched on them last week.
We touched them last
We
week.
talked about it. Yeah, we
had a
all
little
had
chat.
access to buy some Minima. That's crypto though, right? Isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not NFTs. Minima is a new protocol coming out, which essentially wants everyone to run a self-authored node on their mobile device, computer, Mac, whatever, and essentially cut out the big block farms and there's lots of other utilities to it, isn't there?
Yeah.
But they
The
did a pre-sale, but they've sold tranche 1.
Yeah.
But I think they were.
We had the opportunity to buy, but none of us did. I'm guessing
Because
you?
of the
No.
gas prices, because we've in the last 2 weeks, ETH went up by 20%, I think it was, to the highest point.
ETH's
And
ridiculous
it
at the
caused
moment.
the gas prices, and I did have 100 quid ready to put into this sale, but for me to exchange that ETH into USDT and then process the transaction on Minima, that would have literally cost me 50 quid. So I was just like, so I'm putting in 50 quid and I have to pay 50 quid on top of that, which I was just like, I'd rather not do that. And I bridged it
That
to
leads on to a
Arbitrum
whole other
instead.
problem.
Yeah. Then you're expecting it to, like, I'm not saying that it won't, right? But you've got to expect at least to 2 times in that situation to like even be at what you put in, right? So I don't know.
It's a tricky one because I think that is actually a very long-term hodl. I honestly think
absolutely, I do agree with you. It's not going to be something.
What they're doing there, appears like they've raised an awful lot of money. They're turning up at events. They are genuine people who do genuine things. And I sort of look at it and think that they're making all the right waves. But then again, it's probably hard to get your project off the ground, isn't it? That's the hardest bit, I imagine, because once you've got a bit of faith in it, I think for me that I was talking to someone about it today, and I said the make or break bit will be, can they get their app on iOS? Because if they can't, because that's Q3 this year apparently. If they can't, because it won't get through the approvals or whatever, then there's going to be problems. If they can and it all goes through fine, I honestly think they can do it. The idea of everyone having a self-authored wallet and node combo type thing, it's not a wallet, but because it'll let you run wallets and etc. on there. So Minima itself is not a wallet, but they've essentially got a load of D apps that you put on there. But everyone having a self-authored node seems like the future.
Yeah, that's what Ethereum wants to do at one point, but we'll see if they get there.
But the problem with Ethereum is they're building everything retroactively now. As in, like, they're going, okay, well, this is our structure works on a high fees-based structure, but now people don't like that, and our network is so congested by the amount of traffic that fees are horrendous. So we need to change that. So we're doing a new layer 2, but also we've got so they're relying on layer 2s doing that at the moment, aren't they? But the problem is ETH is still the most used chain, so then they need to fix that issue.
Actually, Arbitrum reached more transaction than Ethereum.
And that doesn't surprise me because it's up and coming, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think as well, ETH's just limited by the amount of transactions it can do in a day, and it just needs to sort itself out. But they're such a big ship that going, okay, we're transitioning to we're transitioning our proof system is a massive change that actually I think they've handled brilliantly. I think the price of ETH is going to dump though when they release all the staking contracts.
Absolutely. I think they said, don't quote me on this, but I think 60% to 70% of all staked ETH is now in profit because of this pump. Because people staked way far back. If you think
I staked some of the ETH I bought at £875.
Yeah. So you think about there's going to be a massive sell pressure, and there's loads of stuff coming out from different news articles.
Oh, low prices, flash
That's
sale.
what I'm waiting for. Like, I'm like, come on, give me those discounts.
But if ETH takes an absolute dump, Bitcoin's going to take an absolute dump as well. Because I honestly think everything will, because ETH is so big now. And I know everyone thinks, oh, Bitcoin, everything follows Bitcoin, but I actually think Bitcoin will follow ETH on this. I think it's big, and it's such a big player. I think ETH's gonna pull down, Bitcoin's gonna pull down. I think if we time it right, can get on some deals on the way up, way back up.
I'm trying not to FOMO in right now because I want to, but I'm just like, yeah, just.
But this is going to be an artificial dump. It's just going to be liquidity gets released.
Oh, absolutely.
It all dumps. At which point, buy back in. That might be our third black swan of the year. But we'll see where that lands. But that's going to drop down as well, which I think is something we need to look out for.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's just. And then we've done Ghost Boys.
Mm-hmm.
We've mentioned Binima a bit. Done karafuru.
Exciting stuff.
Now, what else has been going on?
The great war of NFT exchanges.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand it all. It was so blurred to me.
Good one. That's a good one.
Right, Sash, you tell us about what's going on then, my boy.
So basically, there was this upcoming NFT exchange called Blur. And essentially, they launched a few months ago. And they said, anyone who's going to use our platform over these next few months, you're going to be eligible for an airdrop, which is basically potentially their tokens. You got given like common crates, exotic crates, legendary crates based on how much trading you did. And you got loyalty points based if you were only listing on their website, compared if you were also listing things on OpenSea. Because OpenSea was the biggest platform out there to sell your NFTs. But unfortunately, when you're a Giga Chad old school person that's run the whole game, they stopped their innovation. They were like, yes, we're the top dog. Everyone comes to us. We're not going to innovate. We're going to charge people ridiculous fees to use our platform. And then this guy called Pac-Man, or the Twitter guy called I don't actually know his real name, but he decided
Slash has a crush on Pac-Man.
Don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, people got millions just for trading on this platform, and they have overtaken OpenSea because of their fees. There was a bit of a war where OpenSea blacklisted any project that was listed on Blur, and they revoked their royalty fees, and people that only use OpenSea but block Blur can get their full royalties, and it's a big like cluster. Yeah. I'm not going to say the word because we're PG, but it's a mess. And I think over the next year, this year is going to be one of the most pivotal moments in like NFT trading history, because the big giant that's taken over the entire industry has literally been, in the space of a few months, had its rug taken away from it.
Well, they rug pulled OpenSea.
They rug pulled over OpenSea.
Here's my question for you, gents, though, right? This is a cynic in me, okay? Is this not what you do to deal with monopolies? Like, for example, right? This is like what big people do in business. So I run a cake shop. Chris runs a cake shop. Stash is not the discerning customer he is. He's very concerned about price. So what I do, right, is I run my cake shop at a loss for 6 months, selling the cheapest cakes available. I lose money every month. And I do this to drive business away from Chris. Right? It's not sustainable for me to run like that, but I'm just trying to nick Chris's business. What then happens is Chris either goes bust or has to drop his prices or whatever, at which point I put my prices back up. Now, I'm slightly worried that the way you said Blur are acting there sounds a little bit like that. Like, what we're going to do is, if we've got some deep pockets for the minute, we're going to run cheap. We're going to run cheap to pull business away, because that's the only way you can pull business away, isn't it, really? If people are all concentrated on price. price if you offer the same things. So they're going to pull that away. But when they've got the market share, will they increase their prices? That's the cynic in me.
I did get you, but before the whole airdrop, all the money that they generated revenue was from trading fees and stuff. So I guess there must have been investors into the Blur token when they decided to do it. But they've made more money than OpenSea by charging less because like they don't, I don't know how to explain. OpenSea were just, because they had the monopoly, they were just charging whatever prices they wanted. There was no one, they could have lowered them and still make millions. Like they just basically undercut them, but still become a super profitable company. Like it's not, they weren't losing money. They were like making millions, like every day. Like,
Well, I think this is the argument of capitalism, isn't it? Because what should happen in that capitalist society where we run bakeries is really the customer wants me and Chris to compete on price so that we either produce the best quality product for the lowest value, which you will then choose to buy from, or you get two alternatives. You get a Greg's, which is me, and Chris turns into a La Redoute bakery or whatever, somewhere really posh. But that's what happens in the world, isn't it? Either you go into different sectors, or you both get cheaper and cheaper until either you both produce crap, or you both produce a good value product. Is the idea?
Yeah.
Also, Blur forced innovation because they introduced like sweeping things where you can sweep from any collection, all the different websites, and then OpenSea was like, okay, we're going to do a sweep thing as well, or quick buy. And one unique thing about the whole Blur situation is like there's bidding pools where you just deposit your ETH and be like, okay, when if NFT reaches this price, someone can accept it, and then you've got the NFT straight away, and you just kind of forget about it. And like and it also increased liquidity
That's what they did with the airdrop. I saw a load of people talking about it. Loads of people would basically be bidding on stuff, even if they didn't necessarily want to buy, just under like the floor price, so as to be eligible for the airdrop, because the airdrop was given based on like the amount of bidding and the amount of interaction and stuff like that. So they got more sort of money, right? More tokens from the airdrop due to the fact that were doing this. So whales would just sort of put bids just under the floor price, and if they bought, oh well, but they didn't necessarily want to buy, which I guess isn't too sustainable because that drops the prices. But as Stash said, it's like driving innovation, right? It's if you don't have any competition, if you're up at the top and you don't have competition, you're just going to be the stale old sort of.
Right? Again, what you see now is a token. That's literally it, because they've just become stagnant and they ignored Blur for such a long time, and they basically specially designed special blockers to prevent anyone actually buying like collections if they were available on Blur. That Blur was like, okay, we're going to build on the same program, like it's called Seaport, the same kind of like sub layers, which meant if OpenSea wanted to block any collection on Blur, it means it would be blocking itself because they're built on the same framework. So that's the kind of, I don't say it is innovation, it's a good way to get around your opponents, but it just seemed like the big bullies was like, okay, we're going to punish all creators and anyone that's trying to undermine us. Which I understand that's like competition and what happens, but at the end of the day, that's just, we have rules against monopolies, don't we? And are they abiding?
Well, we do, but they also exist. Do you know what I mean? The reality is, like, I don't know, there's lots of monopolies in the world, really. Like, they try and break them up and stuff, but it doesn't really work. Like, I mean, if you think about it, Google and Amazon have got a monopoly on, like, servers. But they did, like, they produce all of, essentially, the majority of, like, the Western world's, like, server centers. But no one breaks up that monopoly. But in addition to that, iPhone, Apple and Android control all of the mobile phones in the world. No one breaks that up. What's really difficult is we 100% have rules against monopolies, but some of these monopolies are now too big that governments can't really do anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, some of these tech companies are just the new governments, and we just have to sort of accept, which is a bit unfair. But I will say, though, it sounds excellent. Like, we can't just have one marketplace. Really?
That's the thing. So, up till now, right, we've had Looks Rare, which isn't really doing that
Flopped.
much.
It flopped.
Yeah, it flopped, right? They did an airdrop and everything. They were hyped a little bit during the airdrop, and then it flopped.
But that's what worries me about Blur as well. Like it's a
But
simple,
they-
is it not the same route?
But no, but Looks Red didn't even skim the like volume. Like Blur has been going up and up. Like they're following they actually have different products that not anyone else has.
Yeah.
And so we had X2Y2, which again is a popular marketplace, but it's nowhere near like volume-wise.
Like it would
Or
be
even
OpenSea Blur. I meant Blur OpenSea then XY2 Y2 whatever.
Yeah, and that's about it. So now Blur coming in and actually doing stuff in the market, like it's really good. And also, I wanted to say about Magically isn't a marketplace, but one thing which I had a problem with, we're not sponsored by Magically.
We're not sponsored by anyone. We are open, honestly. Anyone wants to
We
give us
are open
cash.
to being sponsored by Magically. If you want to sponsor us, by all means.
Russian oligarchs, Chinese dictators, anyone, cash.
Yeah.
Right.
Dash, get your buddy Trump on the line, yeah.
Yes,
I actually took a photo of Trump Towers to send to Stash and I forgot to send it.
Oh.
That's how he reacts. He loves the man.
No, I can't let everyone know that I'm his
Hey,
number one fan.
Put it up as an NFT.
Oh my god, you should be like, I'm selling this exclusive Trump Towers NFT lifetime access to Weaving Web3 Discord channel.
Tell you what, actually, I'm just going to quickly look up the Trump collection because I remember we discussed it.
0.55.
It's going up all the time. Like every now and then, I'm like,
It's 0.5 ETH, boys.
yeah, I know.
0.54 ETH. Why do we not get on the Trumps? Stash, come on. We saw this.
I'm so sorry. I know.
That's nuts.
We're full.
How is that 0.54 ETH?
Well, I think they're probably giving away more like interviews with giving.
That's crazy to me. That's like $850.
But yeah, so Magically it's not a marketplace, but it basically you search for the project, let's say Sappy Seals or something like that. Wait, let me share my screen.
Yeah, you should do that. Show us.
Let me share my screen.
I think it's like when you describe it, it's like the matcher of dexes. It's an
yeah. So this is Magically. So it's got trends for all the NFTs, right? And then mints, so things that have minted recently, and then it's got like portfolio. So this is my wallet, and it's got like all my positions and stuff like that, and like the values and stuff like that. So it does all this analysis. It's completely free, and there's also like a watch list. So for instance, I don't know, I've got Sappy Seals here, right? So it shows me all the trades on all the different websites. So that's Blur there. You can see these have been bought on Blur. That's OpenSea. And then it also has all the listings on the different ones, right? So all Blur, that's X2Y2, I think. And then again, and so I can click on one here. Let's say this Sappy Seal. And you can buy it directly from here. You can just click that app, or you can see the token on like OpenSea. So I can open that link and it links to the token. I can see it on Looks Rare. Here. Straight away. But yeah, like it's really good. It shows you all the history. And also if there are, so some of them, some ones have like suspicious tokens.
Yeah,
so
a lot of them, if it's been involved in
if it's been potentially involved in a hack, it's suspicious. So like it comes up on OpenSea with this item can't be bought. You can still buy them, however, on different marketplaces, but it will always have the suspicious icon. So it lets you know all that. And I think it's really good. And they're also doing a similar sort of airdrop, not financial advice, obviously. Don't go buying things you can't afford, but like airdrop, right? So I got in because I'm part of the Sappy Seals community. They did a collaboration and they gave free boxes, right? So you've got crates and you can reveal them. I've got a few rare ones. I've got some uncommon ones. And basically you buy one NFT, you get another bonus crate. If you buy 5 NFTs, another crate. This is weekly and it resets weekly. So like if you're buying NFTs anyway, like you might as well just buy them on here, because the other day, right, I bought I bought a Furu Spirit, which is what I explained. It's going to be a multiplier. I sort of anticipated that they were going to do something with the Furu Spirit, so I bought one. And on OpenSea, I think the floor price was 0.019, and on here I found one for 0.011.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so like it's really good because, for instance, I don't know. Let's see. For instance, let's say karafuru. I go on karafuru because my normal approach is I go to OpenSea, I see the floor price, I'm like, oh, that's the floor price. I mean, obviously these are suspicious tokens, so they don't really count. But like here, for instance, 0.3 is the floor price, right? Whereas if I go on OpenSea right now and search karafuru, the floor price is 0.315. So you're still saving a bit of money, right? Like that's what, 15 quid? 15, 20 quid?
That's quite a bit, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely worth looking into if you've got some time. And just like you might as well use it because it's really good for tracking everything, and it's linked to all the different marketplaces as well. So if you're not familiar with like Blur or something like that, and it just makes it really easy to buy them straight up.
That's cool.
So
I like that.
Just to check, so and magically.gg must link in with your MetaMask, presumably, so you can buy directly. Yeah. And then do they cut out the middleman, or how do they what's their like how are they getting paid is what I'm maybe asking. Do they take a commission?
Not that I know of, no. So I mean the price
aggregator.
Kind of, yeah. And I think with this token release that they're going to do, they're obviously going to make some money. So I think, and also, oh yeah, so they have a collection called the Alpha Sharks. So through that NFT collection, they've sort of raised some money, I think. Wait, let me see, Alpha Sharks. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely people that know a bit more about it. I only started using it about a week ago. I had signed up to it. Yeah, so Alpha Sharks NFT. Yeah. Obviously I'll start sharing my screen, but yeah, and like Alpha Sharks is an ecosystem of elite NFT holders that dominate the NFT game with the most advanced NFT sniping tools in the market, building the most utilitarian Web3. Founders are aimed at bringing value in the whole NFT community together on their Shark token economics. I think, yeah. So this is linked with that, and like the floor price on it is 0.04. Wait, I can share my screen quickly. It's 0.4 ETH. So like they obviously released this with it. So they released it in March 2022. And yeah,
I think they look like dog poo.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, I do not like the art.
We did say about how my like you saw the name. Like I directly quoted you in the name of the previous episode. And thanks for the tour around the graveyard of mediocre art.
Look, I'm just telling you what I saw, Chris. What am I supposed to do when I see it? I say it.
So yeah, I mean, like here we can see they like pumped to 0.7. Like they've had a bit of a pump recently as well. Like they're doing all right, and I don't think it's necessarily about the art. Obviously, it's more about the fact that
the utility, and it gives you membership.
Yeah, and obviously Alpha Shark, like the sort of magically.gg are gonna sort of do stuff with that, and I think potentially you're going to get more airdrops and stuff like that from holding the shark. I don't know. Cool. As I said, I don't really know that much about it, but about that side of things. But I just know that it's really like analytical.
Definitely something to watch though. If you can get cheaper prices, the best market price, like for an aggregator, and also earn bits for an airdrop as well.
Yeah,
all sounds pretty. I'm going to start using it. I'll start using it. Have a look.
Now for the best part. Where is this from?
It's from Neuron, Chris.
I reckon that's from The Simpsons.
How did you know?
That looks directly like a donut that Homer would eat, I think.
Right, Sash, can I just have a look at those sugar strands, please?
Just remember, this is last minute, so we're not filming on a Sunday. It's
Okay.
their fault.
It's a Morrison's ice donut.
I'm gonna say it's a Tesco one.
Oh, guys.
He shops at Lidl,
Unfortunately,
Aldi.
It's Aldi, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's really good. I already had one before the recording. I was like, it's nice.
It was Aldi the other day as well, wasn't it? We dropped the ball, James.
Oh, but we always do, mate. We always look the times we win.
I usually go
it's
to
pure
these
luck.
fancy places. I know. I'm sorry. I'm disappointing. But...
Yeah,
and when we do win, right, we hold until we lose. So.
Joe, all we do, we pump Stash for cake insights and for NFT drops, and we just appreciate his time and his company. Anyway,
and then berate him when we make the mistakes that end up losing his money.
That's the thing. We bully Stash for some reason. We insinuate he's racist, but he's the nicest one in the group. We're really just deflecting. Me and Chris down the UDL.
Maybe we're the bad one.
Because Chris, you were telling me that you always vote UKIP, don't you? That's what you were telling me.
Yeah, honestly.
Because you always complain about the Greeks, don't you? You've got some vendetta against the Greeks, and I have not figured that out yet.
It's Turks, thank you, man.
Oh,
I am Greek.
We're cutting this from the podcast.
Okay.
Oh, God. Anyway,
Well,
that was right. That was jet lag, James. That's Chris. That's Stash. This was We in Web3. I've stolen their outros. Have a great night and a lovely week. And look at Stash's arm if you're on the Creep Media car. Look at the size of him.
Oh, see you later, guys.
See ya. Bye.